What kind of rich cut his own grass? Why you out there cutting your own grass?
Man, 50 Cent has been dragging Rick Ross in a way that got the whole internet staring like, did he really say that? The way he keeps poking at Ross's name is wild. Just when people thought their beef couldn't get any more petty, 50 popped online acting like he just cracked open some top secret rumor shaking the whole hip-hop world. Now he's clowning Ross by saying he pays his team with food stamps, and he threw that joke out there like it was a major news alert. That's exactly the kind of corner 50 likes to slide into. The second he spots a rumor that even whispers Ross might be low on funds, he grabs it, flips it, and blasts it everywhere like he's hosting a breaking news special. And everybody knows that whole food stamp rumor didn't fall from the sky as truth. It came straight from chaotic memes, goofy posts, and random jokes bouncing around social media. But the moment 50 caught a whiff of it, he held on to it like treasure. And you know why he does that? Because that's his favorite angle when it comes to Rick Ross, talking about the man's pockets. The moment he sees anything, even the tiniest slip, a straight tax headline, some confusing money rumor, or anything that sounds like Ross might have had one bad financial week, 50 jumps in like he's doing the world a favor by exposing somebody. He doesn't even wait for the rumor to finish loading on his phone before he's already planning the punchlines and typing up the jokes. This has been 50's go-to play for years. Any small mistake, any slight financial rumor, even the smallest money-related headline, he's on it instantly. It's like his personal mission to remind everybody that if Ross even sneezes near a dollar sign, he's gonna be there ready to clown him. 50 Cent never moves in silence. He lets the whole world know when he wants smoke, and he does it loud. That's just his style. He knows exactly how to plant a little doubt in people's minds, make them start questioning if that big boss lifestyle Ross flexes really got some cracks in it. And the wild part, the way this rumor even started is way pettier than anybody ever imagined. Remember, this is the same man who joked about Ross owning that huge mansion but still cutting his own grass like he was trying to save a couple dollars on landscaping. He threw that joke out there with the same boldness he used when he cooked up that whole Officer Ricky cartoon series. That energy was straight comedy, but it was also designed to hit Ross right where it hurts, the boss image he loves showing off. Then he piled on even more. All those jokes about Ross renting cars, borrowing jewelry, or doing anything that made his pockets look questionable, that's been 50's favorite route for years. So the second a rumor popped up hinting Ross might be struggling even a little, 50 treated it like it was a clearance sale on jokes. He grabbed that rumor, boosted it, and pushed it all over every corner of the internet. He threw captions, jokes, slick posts, and spicy little one-liners everywhere. That's his whole strategy. Stir things up, aim the heat at somebody's wallet, and let the internet take the mess and run with it. And trust, none of this is random for 50. He built a whole legacy on making his rivals look financially upside down. Ja Rule, Mayweather, Diddy, anybody who ever argued with him got their bank account roasted at least once. 50 plays this game like he invented it. But this is where things start getting strange. The timing of 50's joke lined up perfectly with some real financial heat around Ross, and that's when everything flipped. Right when folks were already clowning Ross over that food stamp chatter, some actual paperwork slid onto the internet, and suddenly everybody turned into detectives overnight. Ross got hit with a nearly $65,000 tax lien out of Georgia for unpaid taxes from 2021, and the internet went wild. Now, yeah, seeing that number looks dramatic at first glance, but then you remember Ross is reportedly worth around $150 million. To him, $65,000 is basically the same as finding a random $20 in an old pair of jeans. The real issue wasn't the amount, it was how it looked. That lien originally started at around $29,000, but it blew up after interest, penalties, and fees got stacked on top like the government wanted to embarrass him on purpose. Next thing you know, the final number was creeping up to almost $65,000, all tied to his massive Promised Land estate, the same mansion he flexes on camera at every chance he gets. And the moment any official document with Ross's name hits the internet, 50 acts like he just got backstage access to a comedy show starring Rick Ross himself. He doesn't even pause to breathe. He turns whatever he finds into a weapon instantly. Once that lien started circulating, 50 didn't waste a single second. He jumps on stuff like this instantly and uses it like brand new joke ammo. It's his whole style: catch the moment, twist it, post it, and let the internet explode with laughs. Court filings, tax liens, random receipts. If it's public and it makes Ross look even a little messy, 50 Cent will wave it around like he's leading a whole victory parade. The moment that real paperwork hit the timeline, 50 saw an open lane and hit the gas. Suddenly his trolling didn't sound completely disconnected from reality anymore. He used that tax lien to stretch the rumor way bigger than it really was. almost like the government was co-signing his Ross might be broke storyline. But that tax situation ain't the only thing giving 50 fresh ammo. We gotta talk about his favorite hobbies, blowing his rival situations completely out of proportion. This man does not wait for the truth, he waits for opportunities, and once he spots one, it turns into a full comedy saga. You can see the blueprint clear as day if you look back at his history with Ja Rule. When the whole Fyre Fest disaster hit the internet, 50 didn't even blink. He dove straight in with memes, wild captions, and jokes shooting off non-stop, like he believed Ja personally designed those sad cheese sandwiches everyone kept posting. The festival already looked ridiculous, but 50 knew exactly how to flip the moment, so it felt like Ja was the face of the entire collapse. He exaggerates, he twists things, and he keeps pushing the joke until the internet treats it like fact. That's how he operates. Turn one bad headline into a whole comedy season, drop punchlines everywhere, and let the world laugh while his rival takes the hit. That's the pattern he's been running for years, and that's when everybody started realizing something huge. 50 Cent doesn't chase the truth, he chases whatever makes the funniest punchline. And once you slide over to how he handles Puffy, the whole vibe shifts, but the intention stays exactly the same. He used to joke about Puff almost every single day, non-stop. During Diddy's trial, there were moments when 50 had more jokes posted than actual news updates about the case itself. Then you jump over to Floyd Mayweather and 50 switches the angle again. This time, every joke centers around Floyd's interviews and those scripted moments people love to rewind. That whole he's reading lines joke, that's classic 50 right there. Even when Floyd isn't doing anything wild, 50 will find one tiny moment, a phrase, a clip, a pause, and flip it into a running bit that lives forever online. He knows exactly which soft spot to poke until it turns into a full-blown meme that spreads everywhere. And when you line up all these moments next to each other, the whole formula becomes crystal clear. 50 isn't out here trying to uncover some major scandal. He's looking for narrative fuel. Anything he can spin, stretch, twist, or exaggerate into something bigger, he's gonna grab it with both hands. Whether it's a real situation, a small detail, or just a vibe he can blow up, he'll turn it into something 10 times larger than it ever was. That's the 50 blueprint. Find a spark, flip it into a wildfire, and make the internet carry the flames. And this brings us right back to Rick Ross, because Ross's entire brand is built on power, money, and luxury. The full boss package. To 50 Cent, that's basically one giant red target glowing in the dark. Anytime Ross slips even a little, a tax lien, a lawsuit, a headline that looks strange when you don't read the full story, that instantly becomes trolling fuel. 50 treats every tiny crack in Ross's boss persona like it's his personal playground. But Ross doesn't just sit back and let it fly. His responses are what make this whole situation swerve into a completely different lane. And here's where everything really starts heating up, because if there's one thing Rick Ross loves more than anything, it's presenting himself as the biggest boss the culture has ever witnessed. He doesn't just show off, he broadcasts it loud. We're talking massive estates that look like real-life movie sets, fleets of luxury cars filling up his driveway like a dealership, Wingstop franchises stacked like they're collectible cards, exotic animals casually roaming his property, and photo ops that scream, "I'm living a life your imagination can't even keep up with." He paints the picture on purpose, and he paints it bold. And to be fair, that's not some random act. That's Ross's whole identity. He built his entire empire around the boss narrative, the mogul energy, the entrepreneur storyline, the empire builder vibe. That's the foundation of everything he shows the world. He wants people to see him as a man who commands his kingdom, controls his moves, and lives on a level most folks just dream about. Every move he makes is part of that image. And that's exactly why 50 Cent stays locked in on him. Because the bigger the flex, the bigger the joke, 50 thinks he can flip. Every house tour Ross drops, every luxury toy he shows off, every random farm animal he decides to buy, it's all part of the brand. That's the full Ross aesthetic. Grand, loud, over the top, larger than life. But here's where everything flips. Every single time Ross leans deeper into that lifestyle, 50 Cent treats it like a personal challenge. To 50, Ross's flexing isn't just flexing, it's bait. Those giant purchases and flashy moments give 50 brand new targets. They hand him openings to twist the story, flip the vibe, and turn the whole situation into something way messier. Fans have been pointing this out for years. The bigger Ross flexes, the harder 50 pushes back. The fake rich jokes get louder, the captions get sharper, and the trolling gets more creative. It's almost like the louder Ross yells boss, the louder 50 yells broke. And even when Ross is clearly winning, clearly succeeding, clearly living well, 50 still finds a way to flip the moment into something embarrassing. That's why that food stamp rumor blew up so hard online. People jumped on it quick, clowning the idea that Ross was flexing luxury while supposedly running things on a borrowed budget. And the internet loved every second of it. But the joke was never that Ross was actually struggling. The joke was the contrast, the wild visual. People kept posting memes of a man standing next to $1 million buffalo while supposedly paying staff in food stamps. And that exact kind of ridiculous setup is what 50 lives for. He sees something over the top, flips it into comedy, and lets the internet eat it up. 50 doesn't care if something is real, he cares if it's funny. And when Ross is out here showing off castles, fleets of cars, and random farm animals roaming the yard, 50 sees the perfect setup. To him, Ross's entire boss image is basically begging to get poked. But this story doesn't stop at the flexing, because the real turning point hit when Ross's legal issues started stacking up. And that's when 50 went straight into overdrive. Ross wasn't just flexing anymore. He started hitting real-life bumps that 50 could flip into new jokes. Over the years, Ross has dealt with all kinds of lawsuits, some tied to events he organized, some tied to business moves, and others tied to personal drama. A few were serious, others were typical celebrity headaches, but to 50, every single one of them was a fresh lane to run in. Take the booking issues, for example. Ross was sued for allegedly failing to pay booking agents and promoters tens of thousands of dollars after canceled shows, including that reported $171,000 owed to Total Access Entertainment. Then you've got that lawsuit from a disabled fan who said there wasn't proper wheelchair access at one of Ross's Atlanta car shows. Ross did speak on the situation, but once that paperwork existed publicly, 50 treated it like a brand new playground. And the legal mess didn't stop there. Ross has gotten tangled in copyright and defamation issues too, like the case from Freeway Ricky Ross over the use of his name. You also had photographers claiming Ross used their images without permission, turning simple disputes into court filings that the public could read. Even DJ Vlad filed a lawsuit over an alleged ambush incident involving Ross's camp. For the average person, this stuff is regular legal noise that celebrities deal with all the time. But for 50 Cent, every one of these situations is another opening, another storyline, another setup he can stretch, twist, and flip into comedy. The more Ross handled real-life problems, the more 50 stood ready to remix them into brand new material. All of these situations on their own are just the usual headaches a high-profile celebrity deals with. When you're running huge events, juggling different businesses, and managing a whole empire, bumps happen. But 50 Cent doesn't look at nuance. He sees narrative fuel. Every court filing, every headline, every unpaid dollar becomes another spike in his running Ross must be broke storyline, and he pushes it loud. Fans caught on to the pattern quick. The lawsuits, the Georgia tax lien, the food stamp jokes floating around social media, all of it started blending into this wild rumor tornado. People weren't laughing at just one thing anymore. They were connecting everything together. They saw Ross flexing huge wealth, then saw small legal issues piling up, and suddenly the internet started acting like the whole narrative of financial instability was real, even when it wasn't. And that was only the beginning, because once 50 jumped in, things escalated fast. The internet couldn't get enough. When the lawsuits, the tax story, and Ross's luxury flexes all hit the timeline at the same time, 50 didn't just throw out a quick joke and disappear. He ran with it like a comedian on stage with unlimited mic time. He posted clips, captions, jokes, slide tags, anything that pushed the storyline forward. And that's the real key here. All this trolling, all these jokes, none of it is meant to be taken as actual truth. 50 isn't filing reports, he's not proving numbers, he's not investigating anything, he's weaponizing absurdity. Every post, every caption, every tag is a calculated move to shape how people see the situation, even if the whole thing is exaggerated. And the wild part? It works. 50 knows exactly how to take the tiniest rumor and stretch it until it sounds like a full-blown storyline. He knows how to flip small moments into viral conversations, and he knows the internet loves a mess. Every time he posts, he pushes the narrative further, and the culture eats it up every single time. But here's the wildest twist. It wasn't even 50 doing all the heavy lifting. Fans took the jokes and spun them into full-blown theories like they were running their own investigation. Once 50 drops a joke, the internet doesn't just scroll past. People jump in, remix it, and flip it into a whole storyline of their own. Platforms like TikTok and X are the perfect playgrounds for that kind of chaos. Short clips, quick edits, viral formats, wild captions, everything online is built to exaggerate and entertain, and you already know how social media moves. It doesn't need proof, it just needs drama. The Ross versus 50 energy had plenty of that. TikTok users started stitching old interviews, random screenshots, and throwback clips into fast 30-second videos that made it look like Ross was struggling, even though he's sitting on a reported $150 million. People added dramatic music, flashy captions, and punchlines to make the story bigger, funnier, and a lot more shareable. It didn't matter if the story was real, it mattered that it was entertaining. And over on X, folks played the game in a whole different way. They started tagging Ross, tagging 50, tagging anybody connected, blasting the comments and replies so loud it looked like a full-on documentary was unfolding in real time. Threads popped up everywhere, turning one tiny joke into what looked like verified drama. And that's the craziest part. The internet didn't just watch the feud, it amplified it. It made everything messier, louder, and way more dramatic than reality ever needed to be. And if you want more wild breakdowns just like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button on Juicy Reel. We got more heat coming your way.